Anderson. I am doing an update video. Um, I put a video out this past Saturday. It's Monday, and I told in my video I said there was going to be backups coming. I was over there at PMT, and the backup that was over there at PMT is inexcusable. Um, the fact of the matter is that I was there. And if any of you know, Con Global closes at 4 o'clock. I couldn't get my other container out, so I actually lost money because of the backup. And this is one thing that continues to be a mitigating factor for us drivers in the piers is the loss of income due to the slowdowns at the pier. Now, it could be because of broken cranes. It could be because of ILA contracts. It could be because, crane operators want to go to the bathroom or take a lunch. And, it doesn't matter what the cause of the backups are. The point is, us drivers are bearing the absolute brutal, vicious financial beating over ILA, over the port, and there's nothing that is being done about it because ILA has a contract. Now, keep in mind, this is a multi-million-dollar union. Okay, they have all their I's dotted, they have all their T's crossed. Now, what that means for you or I means that they've got their business locked down at the Port of Virginia. Where do we go from here? Do you think the Port of Virginia is going to risk a strike with ILA and who's tougher match to try to, satisfy some truck drivers trying to go ahead and, move us on down the line in a timely manner? That isn't going to happen. So what us drivers need to talk about and how we need to go about this from what I'm seeing, and I'm open to even more input, okay? But the fact that we need to be compensated for our time in the pier. Now, I missed out on my run today. If anybody knows about Con Global, okay, it closes at 4 o'clock. I couldn't get my box. So now I'm sitting. Now, I've lost a run for the week because of that. Now, I'll be doing it tomorrow, but what I was supposed to be doing when I got back from that all goes to hell in a handbasket. I'm not the only driver. I was handing out flyers out front at Portsmouth Marine Terminal. Okay? Handing out flyers on the meeting that's coming up on April 22nd. And I was told I cannot be handing out flyers by the port police. And they recognized me from some of my videos. And they asked me nicely to, leave the property. So I stood out front of PMT, out there by the intersection. And I handed out well over 100 flyers to a lot of angry drivers. One driver showed me he had been in there since before lunch and left there at nearly 4:30. Okay, before lunch. He was in there, I believe he told me that he had been, he in-gated at like 12:30, but had been in there since about 11 something, and he left at 4:30. How is this man supposed to support his family? The problems are you have the port going ahead and they wanting more work. They want the mega ships. And I don't know if any of you drivers out there or any of you people out there have seen the ships that are coming in and out of the pier. They're getting bigger. They can't support us drivers with what they've got, okay? And now they're taking in more work, okay? They want to do more. I understand that. Good for business. Drivers, we have got to step up to the plate. There has got to be payment for our services in the piers. They are pushing these issues. The backup today is so small compared to what is coming. I promise you the backups are going to be even far worse in another month. If you don't believe me, check out some of the stories out there. Look at the cameras on the port. Okay, go on to VIT's website, look at the cameras, look at the backups. But the funny thing is, over at PMT, they only show a very narrow view of what, the drivers are really, dealing with. E-logs are coming. when the e-logs come in, drivers are going to be hit even harder. I know drivers right now that have electronic logs in their trucks, and they're not being able to run like they were able to run because it keeps track of time right down to the minute instead of 15-minute increments like on the paper log. Okay? And I'm not going to get into all the ins and outs, but drivers, I know drivers that have their trucks up for repossession because they've already missed payments. They've had breakdown after breakdown with the after treatment systems, okay? They have been dealing with the peers trying to make a living and can't. And I am going to be putting together some interviews with some drivers that have left the intermodal industry. Some of them have left trucking altogether. Some of them have gone into other fields of trucking, don't want anything more to do with containers. The best thing I can do to try to make people see what's going on is put these drivers face to face with you so you can actually see them, hear them, see what they've been going through for years and finally said, you know what, the hell with it, I'm done. Now, I'm not quitting. I'm not giving up. It may come a time when I do say, you know what, I've had it. And believe me, I've had my rounds with the ports and, trucking companies, and there's been a lot of stuff going on. I'll be touching on some other things in some other videos, but these problems are going to get worse. The port cannot go at war with ILA over their contract. Their contract is golden. They got lawyers that they pay to go ahead and figure out every little nook and cranny of the law, everything that they can do. We're not going to be able to match the port. As far as the ILA workers go, we're not going to be able to battle them back and forth, and we shouldn't have to. The ILA workers were smart enough to have people in their offices that come up with these contracts that nail them down to where they're protected. Where is that protection for independent drivers? I know some of you have seen some of the posts out there with, the big trucking companies showing up on the White House lawn. Those were major carriers. I don't recall. So please, if I'm wrong, please somebody send me an email, vaportdrivers@gmail.com. You can go ahead and send me an email, okay? But I didn't see any representation for us independent drivers, us owner-operators. It was companies. Now, companies are pushing for the ELDs, and you've got companies pushing for speed limiters, and how many of us have seen Swift trucks plow over a number of cars at 60 miles an hour? I mean, that's another video, a whole other story. I don't want to get off topic here. The topic is we can't control ILA. We cannot control the ports. What we can do is go back to our motor carriers and say, hey, we need to be compensated for our time. We go back to the people that we're leased to and tell them, look, we have got to be compensated for our time. You're supposed to be going to bat for us. Where is the backing from the trucking companies? It happens very little, okay? I was leased on to a company in the Tidewater area. Their main office is outside of this area. I'll be getting into that in another video. But I was there a number of years. They were treating us pretty well for the amount of time we had been there. And then the company changed and it just went to hell in a handbasket. And I'm talking abuse like you wouldn't believe. And if you think that it doesn't happen, I've got some things that'll be coming out. I'll say, hey, it's the popcorn and butter video. Go ahead, get your popcorn, get your butter, sit down and watch, okay? Because that'll be coming out. But drivers, we've got to come together and talk about some solutions. I'm out there. There's other drivers out there. April 22nd is the date that's set for the meeting. I look forward to having, a meeting with you guys. I'd like to hear some of your input. Some of you drivers out there are very smart, smarter than me. I'm not saying I'm the smartest person in the world. And I get a lot of good information from really smart people. And it's, I try to work together with people to make things happen. For us owner-operators, for us independent drivers, we have got to make some changes because we're going to drown. We are drowning. I know too many drivers right now that are barely keeping their head above water. Their families are paying the ultimate price, and the frustration level is through the roof. Anyways, I wish you all the best of luck. Hopefully I'll see some of you out there. Like I said, you want to talk, come on up. I have no problem talking, but I do have to make a living also. And I've got to get to sleep because I have to be up early in the morning to try to repair some of the damage that was caused from today's catastrophe so that I can earn a living. Anyways, I wish you all the best of luck, and please, as always, keep them on all 18.